So this is the last day, and this is an important moment, and to each of us it may mean something different, but this is a turning point in history. As progress moves in and new roadways are built, machines are decommissioned, and in turn the people who run those machines are no longer needed. It's a sad thought, a thought in which may go unnoticed by those who are not affected. It's a very nostalgic time for me, as I've worked here all my adult life, and I was told back then about a plan that would bring us all here together for this very reason today. And it's hard to believe that today is today. So, I've always opposed in areas that hold special small town culture. And everyone knows no shirt, no shoes, no problem. Remember that? And when you give out your phone number, only the last 4 digits were necessary. That is how I remember my town in my own mind. I would have liked to keep the old bridge. It is what I've always remembered. It is the way that I remember the small town that I came to visit as a child and grow up in as a teenager. I remember when I was 7, waiting in traffic on our way down because the bridge was stuck open. And my stepbrothers would toss a football to each other in the northbound lane while we all waited. We all knew what it was. It was this bridge. But it was a party in the street. It was just something that happened on the way to the Keys. But small towns can't be small towns forever. And sometimes it takes a while to adjust yourself to the times that have changed around you. Why would anyone want to build such a huge bridge in our little town? This is a landmark and a symbol of our local history. Why not fix what we have? Why would we not side with history? At times it has worked, other times it has not. But the cars go by and people move on with their lives. They will drive wherever the lines lead them, drawbridge or no bridge. I can't help but notice something when I drive through the Keys. All the historic bridges that sit off the side of the road. And it's hard not to see them when you pass by. They hold a special place in history books everywhere. But there is something about them that makes me grind my teeth. I watch them crumble. I see them crumble more and more as time passes, as if there is no meaning and no importance and no value. But I disagree. There is meaning and importance and value. And this site is a part of that. And since I have control of this site up to this very moment, I cannot hand over the keys without bringing forth the respect that is owed to those who dedicated their lives and made this all happen. I don't think that respect has ever been paid to those who dedicated their lives to these great structures. To ignore that would be to spit in the eyes of our elders. As the last supervisor of this historic bridge, I cannot allow myself to stand around and allow this era to pass by as if it had no meaning at all. To let us all be closed down without recognizing the real meaning of what has happened here. To ignore that would be disrespectful to history and the thousands who lived, worked, and gave their lives for this very cause. I cannot agree with what has happened here, and it is not because of things that I do not understand, but it has taken me a while to understand something in life, and it was a difficult thought to process. I realize that whatever the reasons may have been, that this is a part of history, all of it. Our very surroundings in this very moment, the new bridge, and the hundreds of people who worked hard to build it. We are here today following the newly paved lines of the future in remembrance of the history that we are set to leave behind. There is no choice but to accept the end of this era. So here today, let's honor history. Let us honor the thousands of people who began this adventure right here over 100 years ago. The thousands who dedicated their lives to make us what we have become today. The hundreds who lost their lives to the harsh environment of the early 1900s and in the hurricane of 1935. To this area, which was once a town called Jewfish, the home of bridge and railroad workers for 100 years. Let us not forget those who have worked on this bridge and the other drawbridges along the old highway in the past, like Peter Flancher, the last bridge tender at the old 7-mile swing bridge who died tragically while on duty, March 3rd, 1981. A plaque has been placed in his honor on the top of the new 7-mile bridge. I would personally like to thank Dowell Barnes, a bridge supervisor who is willing to give a young guy a chance. I would not be standing here today if it was not for him. I'd also like to thank my boss, Laura, and John Matthews, the engineer, and all the other electricians and technicians that, come out here in the middle of the night, even if they had to you know, keep me from pulling my hair out of my head. You know, they all made this possible too. They couldn't be here, but and let us also honor this great historic structure and those who built it. It has provided this community with 66 years of service. And there are many things that deserve appreciation, and I hope that I've covered them all, but there's one more thing that has yet to be acknowledged, and it's right here in this little crowd. Let us honor our newest addition in history, the final crew to serve on the old highway, the crew of the Jewfish Creek Drawbridge. There are some things that could never be bought, and that is all of you and the role you have played right here at this very spot. I personally want to thank every one of you for helping to make this experience possible. I am honored to have been a part of it, and I hope that you are too. A new era has begun, and the bridge workers will walk away for the first time in 100 years, and the area will never be the same. Times are changing, but we are a part of history. We are on the final page of what began here all those years ago, and no one can take that away.